My name is Joey Williams. My job is to act as the Director of Education here at Skulls Unlimited. Anybody who's not familiar with the company, we are a biological supply company, and as the name suggests, we supply skulls and skeletons to the educational community. Basically, this job is perfect for me. It seems like a natural progression to me because I started collecting bones and skulls at such a very early age. I started doing art with those items, and it kind of led into a natural progression towards ending up here. Previously, I worked for nature centers, a university, and it allowed me to be creative, but not quite to the same level that I've been allowed to here. I've been with the company for 7 years, and one of my first tasks, why I was hired, was to develop and design the Museum of Osteology. The Museum of Osteology is a nonprofit museum being funded by Skulls Unlimited. We are going to exhibit upwards of 1,000 species of mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, basically all the vertebrate classes. We're going to have upwards of 300 individual skeletons on display and several hundred more skulls. I've always had a fascination with natural history, nature, wildlife. I grew up in a small rural town in Kansas, and biology was always one of my favorite subjects. Art was also something that kind of came easy for me at an early age, so I kind of combined the two of those as I was growing up. Basically, thought I was going to be an artist all my life. Went to school for that and decided that I wanted to go back to school and get a degree in biology. When I was very young, I started collecting natural elements, mostly skulls and bones, and began incorporating those into my art. Most everything that I use in my art is real. All of the natural elements are real. Real bones, real insects, real sometimes organs. Some of my pieces I've encompassed plastinated sheep's hearts. All of those elements are real. The dark subject matter basically is probably a form of therapy. It allows me to express myself and do it in a sense that is a little darker than some people's art, but once I express that, then I can move on with it. In my work here in the museum, I have had quite a few ideas that I get an idea when I'm driving to work or whatever, but being surrounded by these elements, it does lend to inspiration, I guess I should say. In addition to just designing the exhibits, I've been able to use a lot of my artistic ability in putting together elements of the exhibits as well.
The comparative exhibit?
Oh yeah.
So the monkey we're going to go ahead and stick with it up here?
Yeah, so have his right side facing out. Yeah. So there are times when working here with bones, working here in the museum with skeletons and skulls, it definitely lends to my inspiration. Working here is a learning experience, and it is something that you have to get used to. The smell is definitely a factor when you're dealing with any kind of dead animals, decomposition, the cleaning of those animals. There are a lot of interesting smells, and it's something that I guess at a young age I began to tolerate. And no, it's not pleasant, but it doesn't bother me anymore. Just simply because the end result is attractive to me. You know, nice clean bones to incorporate in art or as a specimen. That end result outweighs the unpleasantries of the smells and all the interesting things that I see in the processing of the specimens. There are different techniques for cleaning the specimens depending on the state of decomposition. One of my favorites, a lot of people can't stomach it, but I use a lot of maceration, which is basically rotting a specimen under water and using anaerobic bacteria that's naturally occurring to decompose the tissue. As you can imagine, that creates quite a smell, and it's a little hard for people to stomach. Personally, it doesn't bother me that much. I've actually grown to kind of like it a little bit, but yeah, it stinks. The specimens that I use for my art typically either come from nature or there are individuals who farm exotic animals. I obtain quite a few specimens through those channels. I can usually find some sort of use in just about any specimen, even if it's undesirable or unwanted by the museum or by the company here. It's not my intent to portray the macabre or the morbid, nothing really dark with my art. It is elements of my soul and elements of my world, my experiences, my travels, you know, my likes, my dislikes. It is good therapy for me, so it's a good way to not pin everything up. I can express it, I can get it out there. People can either accept it or reject it, and either way, it's out of me and it's cathartic. Where I'm at now is basically it's the culmination of my entire life, basically. You know, I'm using all of my interests when I come to work, when I go home, and I'm able to express myself through my art or collect skulls or whatever I do. It is a culmination of everything that I've worked for, everything I've experienced. So yeah, in my my existence, I'm fairly content. Most people would say, you know, you've got the perfect job. You know, you're able to do this and you're able to do that, and you're able to put it all together. And yeah, I'd have to agree with that.